As you will no doubt have seen if you watched the many non-League to Legend previews that have appeared on the channel this year, there was a little bit of debate and decision to be made about where we started this year's non-League to Legend story. All of the debate, all of the indecision, it's long gone. We're starting with Alfreton. We're playing traditional, normal, non-League to Legend like we have for the last 2 years. Full-on realism mode. We start here and we'll see where we end up. All of which means, in traditional non-League to Legend style, we need to find a house. Because as you can see from Google Maps, Alfreton is nearly 70 miles away from my house and almost a 2-hour commute, and that will never do. Now, my initial contract at Alfreton is only £275 a week, and despite the fact that Alfreton is a place where you can get a gent's haircut for just £3.99 or a lady's haircut for £4.99 with no appointment, I still have to live within my means. You all know that's what Kev's all about. So we've gone house hunting, and the house that we found is this one. It's a 1-bedroom detached house. Ignore that big house next to it. That's just out. It's like our wall. We've got a big wall around us. We have our 1-bedroom detached house that we've picked up for the bargain price of £37,500. It's going to be our home for at least the next year. Hopefully we can pick up a promotion, a pay rise, and maybe get a second room. Welcome to Non-League to Legend 2018. Hello, I'm Kev, and welcome to Club 1, Season 1, Part 1 of Non-League to Legend. This is just, we're not always going to introduce it like that, don't worry. Oh, I'm excited. I'm back in my comfort zone now. None of this wearing suits, talking to real players. Oh, if you want all that, there's some other series on the channel that some alternative version of me's doing. But if you want good old-fashioned, nitty-gritty non-League to Legend, this is where you need to be. 4 o'clock every weekday here on the channel. Oh, if you are looking for Nuneaton, by the way, that'll be back 9 o'clock Tuesday. The schedule's been published. But 4 o'clock every day here on the channel. We've got non-League to Legend. We're starting with Alfreton, and goodness me, is this going to be a difficult job with Alfreton. Let me tell you a little bit about the club. They're semi-professional. They have no money at all. They've spent the last goodness knows how long. I mean, they did flirt with the National League proper for a few years. I don't know how they managed that. They got relegated, was it 2 seasons ago now? But traditionally a National League North team, and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. 1-star reputation, 3,600 capacity, and pretty much no money. £120,000 with a projection of that, and that's before I've done anything. I've not made that happen. That's before I've even had an impact. We have got some transfer budget, but I've deliberately not spent it. I have signed a few players and increased the wages. So in fact, let's start as we mean to go on. Prudent financial management. Let's use some of that transfer budget to fix the wage budget. So there is a little bit of extra. In fact, we're not going to buy any players. Let's stick it all in there and perhaps sign a couple more free transfers, because we do need to fill out our squad because it's desperately thin and not exactly overflowing with quality. If we have a look on our little team report here, spoilers of the tactic we're going to be using, and we're kind of using it because it's being forced upon me, but player wise, we've got a decent striker, Craig Westcar. This guy, he needs to be the man. He's our 4.5-star. Yeah, he's 32, but he's a 4.5-star quality player. Bags of Football League experience, full of goals. If for us to have a decent season, Craig Westcar needs to have a decent season. So he's going to be very important. Behind him, there's really not very much. Left side of the pitch, there's not very much at all. The reason we've got this weird lopsided 4-4-2 on the go is because Brendan Daniels, he's just about all we've got on that left-hand side, and he can't really do the left-hand side of midfield. He can only do left wing. Now, we don't really want to be playing any fancy Premier League formations, so we'll stick him on the left-hand side, but push him a little bit further forward, and we don't really have anything behind him either. Midfield, we've got a little bit more quality. Craig Disley, again, old man, 35 years old, But with lots and lots of experience at a higher level, which is good, and he's better than anything else we've got. So again, we need good seasons out of both Disley and Westcott. I'm a little bit worried that the two Craigs are both getting on a little bit. Bradley Wood is another decent player that we've got in the centre of midfield, although he's primarily a right back, and I think that's probably where we're going to use him, because you know I love a right back, and he is officially the best player we've got at the club. 5-star current ability. It's weird. He's been at Alfreton. Well, he's at Grimsby. Then he came to Alfreton. Then he disappeared off to Lincoln, but has now come back, which seems a little bit odd because he seems really, really good. He was playing. I mean, look, he's never played at this lower level before. I don't really know why he's come back, but come back he has. And he's our best player, so we need to make the most of him. We don't really have much of anything to speak about on the right-hand side of midfield either. And defensively, Wood aside, it's fairly slim pickings. Steve Williams, I guess, is the only guy that we've got back here worth talking about. And again, he's getting on a bit, 30 years old. And his bags of experience isn't exactly at a much higher level either. He's a non-league journeyman, which for us, it's not a 30-year-old non-league journeyman is what we're building our defence around. So we're not in the best of situations when it comes to current squad. If we have a look at our overview, I mean this. So we lack quality, in all areas pretty much. Quality behind Bradley Wood. We lack quality behind Brendan. Well, Brendan Daniels isn't that good. We can't pass. We've got low levels of aggression and commitment. So we can't pass, but we also don't really care. We're struggling against a 4-2-3-1 in the friendlies, which is fair enough. We always struggle against everything. We don't have any money. So we're basically with a squad that can't pass, doesn't care, and he's getting old. And we've got no money. We have signed a few players. I'm still trying to bring loads more in on trial as well. So, but again, look at this is the kind of calibre. 34 years old. 40-year-old Gary Jones. Let's bring him on. Let's bring him in. But, he looks really good. I don't understand how he's 40. I think we need to check his age. Natural fitness. Look at that. We want a bit of Gary Jones. But we're more interested in who we've signed today. And because of the limitations financially and the fact that I am trying to be a little bit more financially prudent this year, certainly in the early stages while we could bankrupt a club, I'm bringing in youngsters. So youngsters with potential in the hope that over the course of the year they get a little bit of game time and are in a position to take over from the Craigs come the end of the season into next year. It's not going to be a one-season job here at Alfreton, is it? Let's face it. So Ben Hurst is a 19-year-old striker with 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He comes in on a free transfer from York, having never scored a goal. Chris Owens is a left-back, because you've got to have full-backs. He's a left-back with 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's 18 years old. He's not as good as what we've already got, but he gives us a little bit of backup and comes in from Liverpool with potential. We like potential and we like players who used to play for Liverpool, because that means they must be half decent. Jonathan Nixon is another striker, but a different kind of striker. The first guy, Ben Hurst, he's more of a target man. If we have a look at his bits here, there's been some thought put into this. We're going to play with a target man and a poacher, so we've signed one of each who are young with potential. So Ben Hurst is our target man. Jonathan Nixon is our young and hungry poacher with 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential, comes in from Port Vale. He hasn't even played a game. The other guy may have never scored a goal. Jonathan Nixon's never played a game. Owen Wheeler is a backup keeper for... to be honest, he might actually be our first choice keeper, because the guy who was here before, Chris Elliott, 25 years old, not that great. So I originally brought Owen Wheeler in to be a backup keeper, but actually looking at him and looking at his reports, he's probably better than the guy we already had. So he might go straight in goal for us, age 19 with 5-star potential. Another one who's coming from Liverpool. Not only has he never scored a goal, never played a game, he didn't even have a club last year. It's been a while since I've been at this level. And then lastly, Kofi Boateng is an 18-year-old centre-back who can also play right-back, but very importantly, can also play sweeper, which we might have to use at some point. He's come in just to kind of make up the numbers, give us a little bit of backup at the back, because he was cheap. He's on a appearance-only, non-contract, 120 grand per appearance. We're not going to use him very much unless he develops really quickly. But he comes in on a free from Norwich. And again, similar to the last guy, didn't even have a club last year. So, yeah. This is the tactic that we're going to be using. And it's very much a case of trying to build something from what we've got. We all know I'd love to have a nice little quick passing narrow diamond with my playmakers and my complete forwards and this, that and the other. We just don't have that in us at the moment. So we're going full on non-league styley. So we're just going to do a standard structured with direct passing, hit early crosses, pump the ball into the box, be disciplined, stick to positions, and I'm trying to play players in the position they're most comfortable playing in. So we're going full on non-league, just try and get the job done, lads. And I'd love to play him there and do a proper 4-4-2, but I don't like the look of that. So for the sake of just moving him a bit further forward, we'll do that. And the guy behind him, Owens, we're just going to play him as a defensive fullback to try and make up for that. And Disley's there to cover and defend if need be. So hopefully this area doesn't cause us too many problems, and just having him a bit further forward means he should be in a position to whip some crosses over. I don't know if I want to play Westcar as a target man, because he's supposed to be... This is the one issue I've got, because I tried to be really sensible with my... The one issue I've got. This is one of many issues I've got. I tried to be sensible with the strikers I brought in a target man and a poacher, but the one who's better is the poacher, but Westcar's also a poacher. I can't play with two poachers. Nixon can't really play as a target man, so we either bring Hurst into the team, who's the target man, who's not as good as Nixon, but that allows us to play Westcar as a poacher, or we play Nixon as a poacher and move Westcar over to target man. So for now, for today, we're going to ask Westcar to play as target man. If it doesn't work, Hurst will come into the team, and poor old Nixon is just going to have to be Westcar's understudy until he becomes better than him. Midfield, a central midfielder on defend and a ball-winning midfielder on support. We're just... Basically, the idea is, you lot, you three, defend. You two, defend. You cross to these two, and you two cross to these two, because we have got Bradley Wood there on support. We want him getting forward and getting crosses in. I don't know if Marshall's going to get in his way. There's the temptation to make him a wing-back even. But if I do him a wing-back, he only wants to be on defend, whereas if I can put him on full-back, he can be a full-back on support. So I'm going to try him on full-back on support initially. But if he doesn't get far enough forward, we'll make him a wing-back. And I don't know, it would be ideal to be able to get him over. I mean, basically, I need a left midfielder, because this guy, unless this guy's a world beater, we need someone in there. Or maybe get Wood into the midfield and play Westcar up on his own, push this guy a bit further forward. Can he do that? There's options. That's the important thing. There's options. But we're not about options today. We're about our first game of the season. And our first game of the season is against Blyth. And fingers crossed, we're going to win. We're the favourites. We're at home. We've got our shiny new tactic. Let's just quickly introduce you to the players who are in the team. So we've got Wheeler in goal. You've already met Owen Wheeler. He's the new 19-year-old keeper. Owens is the new 18-year-old left-back, so you've already met him. Alongside him is going to be Tom Allen, who should be a left-back, but we're playing him at centre-back because he can do it, and we don't have much in the way of centre-backs. So he's going to partner Steve Williams, who you met before, the old man we're building the defence around. Bradley Wood, we already know as well, at right-back. Disley, you've met. I don't think I've shown you Tom Platt yet. Tom Platt is one of the more exciting prospects that we've got at the club. 23 years old, 3.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He actually might end up being quite good. So I like Tom Platt. Hopefully he'll do all right. Marcus Marshall is our right midfield player, who we looked at a moment ago. Daniels is going to be on the left-hand side. Obviously, if you want to dig into these in a bit more detail, feel free to pause on any of those and just have a nose through their stats. Westcar is very much in the decline, which is a problem. And today he partners Jonathan Nixon. Let's get into the game. Let's see just how embarrassed we're going to get. This, I've started all of my FM18 saves at this point. My stream one, my beta one, the Nuneaton one is started as well. This save is the only one where I'm having dynamics problems already. I've come in and the players don't know who I am, obviously, but they don't like it. Right, well, let's just get my normal view set up on here. Key, and that needs to be... Why is that not moving? It's normally about there. Slightly faster. Yeah, we want the first... Let's try it there. I don't know why these settings can't just carry over. Was that everything? Did I put everything on right? Replays, we like to have them behind the goal. And hide pitch windows during replays. Okay, is that right? Does that feel like the right kind of speed? It does. So, Industrial football is what we're looking at today. And Platt lumps it forward to Westcar, who straight away heads on. And that's our move. That's what we want to be doing. Platt again lumps it forward again. Marshall, can he get a cross in? Game plan's working at the moment. We just need to lump it up to the big lad up front. And then, I guess there is an argument for playing Hurst alongside Westcar. If Hurst is a natural target man and Westcar is a natural poacher who can play as target man, perhaps we need the two big men up front, and Nixon maybe doesn't have a role to play for us at the moment until we start to get better. Because at the moment, we're just so lacking in quality that I don't want to ask them to pass or think or run with the ball. I just want them to get it, kick it high and far, and leave and hope Westcar gets on the end of it at some point. That's our entire tactic. So perhaps we should have put the big man alongside him today. And we're already 1-0 down. And we've not had a shot on target yet. 15 minutes in. I know there's going to be people down there calling for me to do this Kev style, because Kev style became a trademark in non-league to legend last year, and just go straight into an all-attacking 4-3-1-2 thing. Remember, that's not always how we start down in the lower leagues. It's where we try to end up, but when we're down at this level, we have to make do with what we've got. And if you go all the way back to when we first started out at Boston 2 years ago, we got promoted with a 4-4-2 that wasn't a million miles away from this one. It was a pretty straightforward, simple 4-4-2 that made use of the players that we had who weren't really very good. So we're hoping for a similar thing here at Alfreton. And you never know. We haven't been fired from our first club in non-league to legend before. I feel like this might be a year, because we had no money, and we've already brought in everyone we can bring in, and none of them were any good. And this tactic isn't working at all, is it? Blyth are completely all over us. They've only had 9 shots in the first 28 minutes. We can't be letting teams have 9 shots against us. So I think we're going to be right back to the drawing board after this game. They're in behind again. Oh, no. What do I do? I need to get rid of the old men, and I need time to get rid of the old men and not get fired for doing it, because I'd love to move Westcar and Disley and whoever the centre-back guy is, just get rid of all of them and build an under-23 team of players who actually want to be here, who have got a little bit of ability. I'd rather have a little bit of ability, and some ability and mobility would be lovely, rather than experience, which is what we've got at the moment. And right, here we go. Let's grab a goal back, and then I'll feel better. Daniels is in and does grab a goal back. There you go. It's not all over yet. And Daniels hovering out on that left wing. He must know that he's the guy who I was immediately thinking, right, well, he just doesn't fit at all. And if we're conceding goals, we can't have this fancy chap out on the left wing rather than left midfield. He needs to justify his place. And there you go. He's going to grab a goal, justifying his place. If he does that more regularly, then I guess we have to keep playing him. Disley is looking nervous, which is a little bit of a worry for a 35-year-old player who I think is our captain. I think that's who I selected. Right, what was that from Platt? I identified him as being quite good, and that was just atrocious. He was passing to where Disley would have, not Disley, to where, what's his name, Daniels, is that the winger? To where he would have been if he was playing on the left of midfield, because this left wing thing confuses him. There you go, that's Wood. That's what we're getting with Wood. He lumps the ball forward, and Westcar is through on goal, and if he's a poacher, then so am I. Because that was awful. Just sort of kicked it up into the keeper's hands. It was like he was trying to make it convenient for the keeper so he didn't have to lean down and pick up the ball. Right, 2-1 down at half-time is not a disaster. We might need to tweak a few things in this second half, particularly up front. I'm wondering if we bring on the target man guy, Hurst, and bring him on for Nixon and see if that helps. We will give it maybe 5 more minutes and then make that change, because Nixon's not having a very good game at all. So let's do exactly that. Hurst can come on for Nixon, and we'll swap those two around. Of course, we can't actually see their suitability for the role, but I think they are now both suitable for the role. Maybe that makes a difference if we're lumping the ball up at Hurst for Westcar to chase onto. But I don't know if Westcar's got the oomph in him to last a full 90 minutes. Perhaps that was a bit of a premature substitution. I'm going to need to take Westcar off as well in a minute. And I don't have a fourth striker. A fourth striker is not the kind of luxury that we have at this level. Right, here we go. Building from the back. Lump it. Good work. Westcar to chase. Can he beat his man? He can beat his man. Crosses to Hurst, who has space. And I don't really know what he did. But it's back to Westcar and we equalise. Forget not knowing what Hurst did. Hurst held the ball up brilliantly, brought Wood and Marshall into the game, and that's spot on. That's what we want from a target man. Look at that. It was a weird pass to Wood, but Wood found Marshall. Marshall crossed, and Westcar had moved in off the left wing, and there you go. He grabs his equaliser. So that changes everything. All of a sudden, Kev's tactic works. We just had the wrong players in it. Right, how are we doing fitness-wise? Not great. So we have a winger on the bench. Ryan Jennings is a right winger. Do we need a right winger at the moment? Why did it go back to that screen? This is the screen we want. No, Marshall is one of the best players on the pitch right now. We have two right backs on the bench. We don't need a right back. I mean, this is problematic. So Daniels is also having a good game, so we don't need to bring Jennings on there. What we'll do then is we're going to take off Owens and bring on Boateng and put Allen out to left back, because Allen is a left back who was playing at centre back because I didn't trust Boateng. Now I'll bring Boateng on and trust him a little bit. Disley's in there but can't quite get onto the end of it, but Boateng does come back in, and Marshall out on the wing again, crosses into Westcar again, and Westcar, there you go, he's a poacher. None of this playing him as a target man nonsense. We play him as a poacher, we get crosses into him, and he'll score goals for us. We're now 3-2 up with 15 minutes to go, and everything changes if we win our first game of the season. You get excited and happy Kev. And we all want excited and happy Kev. Look at that. He's very happy with his goal. Now I don't know what to do tactically. There's a surprise. Kev doesn't know what to do tactically. We've got another right back on the bench. We bring another right back on. I tell you what, we could bring a right back on, move Wood into the midfield, and actually take Westcar off at this point. Maybe give it another couple of minutes and just throw another man in the midfield in the shape of Bradley Wood. That feels like the tactical change I should make, but I don't want to do it if we're about to concede a goal, because it's not going to. If we go to 4-2, we absolutely do it. Westcar crosses to Hurst, who scores. It's 4-2. Tactics. I mean, Kev does tactics. I feel like that might have to be the new T-shirt. Kev does tactics. Look at that. Westcar has been phenomenal since he moved to poacher. Great cross. Hurst grabs his goal. Right. Tactics again, because we love all this tactical arc now. Right. Westcar. I think I might take him off. Oh, am I going to upset him if I do, though? I want to get Wood into the midfield. I'm going to take off Westcar. He's done his job today. Westcar comes off. Wood's going to go into the midfield. I don't know what he wants to be in midfield. I mean, he's not great at it, is he? This might be a big mistake. But if we just stick him in there as an additional ball-winning midfielder... Can he do that? He can do that. And just go to counter-attacking at this point. I mean, Wood's supposed to be able to be a midfielder as well. He's just not very good, which is a shame. But there you go, we'll do that. And you can be a defensive fullback like your guy on the other side now. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't mess everything up. I'm trying to solidify a little bit. I have met me, though, and that might have been the last thing I should have done. But... you know, first episode of a new series, turn over a new leaf. Let's do tactics this year, and I don't want to get stuck outside of the Premier League for 10 seasons or whatever it took us last year. We want to be good this time round. Right? Oh, look at that! I love a lump forward. Oh, just lump it, lads. Right, Marshall with a free kick. Hurst can't quite get onto the end of it, and it doesn't matter. We've won 4-2. We've won our first game of the season. We've figured out what to do with our forwards, And that is all we could have possibly asked for. So look at that beautiful, beautiful league table. Oh, look at how many people get in the playoffs in this league now. I need to read about that. What's gone on here? Rules. Playoffs. No? Someone explain the new way the playoffs work to me. Structure, is that what we want? Promotions, 1, 2, depending on the playoffs. Yeah, how do the playoffs work? Let me know down in the comments. I don't want to keep you all day while I read about something you probably already know about. But I will figure it out. Maybe. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. You know, first episode of a new series. I asked for 1,000 likes on the Nuneaton one yesterday, and we got well over that. So, 1,000 likes? Can we get to 1,000 likes on the first Non-League to Legend of the new year? It would be lovely if we did. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the rest of this series or the other series. We've got the 2 saves going on at the moment, Non-League to Legend and Back in the Borough with Nuneaton. So, there's lots and lots of stuff here on the channel for you. So, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And thank you very much for watching.